Welcome to the Hour of Power with your gracious host, Lord Chad William Michael, here at KWNK 97.7 Reno Community Radio. I am grateful. This is another special occasion. Yes, Joyganism. I'm observing a lot of excitement. This is why I love the theater. This is why I love stand-up. I love radio. I love film, is because it's elating. It's elating. I'm so excited. He's doing so great right now. I'll introduce this specimen of the universe to you in moments to come. Episode 23 here. So excited. It's been some time of adventure and away and just quiet time and self-reflection and healing and growth and being with nature and wow, a lot of heart opening, a lot of love. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful, and I can't help it any longer. It's like Mark Michael on Christmas. I got this present in front of me, and I just need to unwrap it for people. This is my Uncle Tom. This is my Uncle Tommy, Uncle Ben, aka Uncle Ben from the Ponderosa in the dream world and the imagination, but here in real life. My mom's brother, Uncle Tom, he stationed now in Austin, but grew up in Syracuse, New York, and mostly with four other siblings, my uncles and aunt. No, my uncles and mom and Aunt Trish.
Right.
So it's a pleasure, an honor. We have had much time together, not only in experiencing life, but also in the speaking and the co-creating and the manifestations of the future that we are currently experiencing here and today. So, Uncle Ben, everybody, and that's a nickname we have that has come about, and it's a privilege, and also the most updated one. We'll hold off on that one for now. But Uncle Ben, it's a privilege and honor to have you here visiting here in Reno, but we always want you to stay. But you've been playing here. You rode in on your motorcycle over 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
Over 2,000 miles from Austin. He just needed a little R&R, and being in Reno in the valley at 4,200 feet, surrounded by snow-capped mountains here, June 3rd or 4th, or like 7th. What is it? June 7th?
It's the
It's June 7th. That's
June 7th.
amazing.
Yeah.
We'll be airing or broadcasting this Sunday. However, today is Thursday, 11:30 a.m. We're broadcasting live via Instagram. We're recording this, and we'll be uploading it to YouTube channel Chad William Michael, which he is a gracious host, a gracious being of planet Earth and the Milky Way galaxy. And what an adventure guide he is. Looks like I'm reading out because I'm so excited here. However, yeah, they're going to have to tune me down. Wow. I'm excited.
You're excited.
Your presence is here, and Uncle Ben, how does it feel to be here?
Oh, it feels great. As always, every time I come here over the last 5 years since my son moved here, I've enjoyed every single time here. Winter, summer, spring, and fall. I've been here all seasons. Longest time I've spent is probably, 10 days here. But this time I've been actually in Reno I got here on June 1st. But I left Austin on May 27th, 6th or 7th, on Memorial Day, actually. Jumped on my iron horse and rode all the way to Reno, Nevada from Austin, Texas. And I have to tell you, it was a epic trip. Just my motorcycle ran great. I felt great. I endured all kinds of interesting weather, beautiful scenery, breathtaking scenery. I mean, places I would never ever drive a car, because if I was driving in a vehicle, I'd want to make the quickest route via the interstate. But this time, I just kind of went for all the scenic routes, and it was awesome, to say the least. I would suggest everybody should at some point in time drive across country. I hope you do that. The first time I did it, I was in high school, then my first year of college. Drove, actually, I worked for a moving company, drove from Syracuse to Atlanta, Georgia, first time I ever left the state. And then when I was in college, we drove all the way down to Daytona Beach. And then I was hooked. Driving trips are always great, road trips.
I agree. We've done some motorcycling together, haven't we?
Yes, we have. We
Where,
sure
where have
have.
we done it?
Did we do any in New York? I did with your mom and dad.
And I definitely did it with Seth.
Yes. In New York, I went on a beautiful trip. I borrowed my sister's motorcycle. Your
Yes.
dad had
Yes.
his great Fat Boy.
Yes.
And we drove all through the Adirondacks and up into Vermont and New Hampshire, and it was just awesome. Perfect
Yes.
time of year. Always had perfect trips.
Yes.
But
I feel like we reenacted in another lifetime. We were on horseback in the hill country of San Antonio, but this time we did it on the Iron Horse.
listen, that's exactly what I felt like, as I uh, mounted my horse. I felt like, man, I wonder what the cowboys and those pioneers really, I mean, I had a nice paved road to go through this incredible untouched country. And I mean, southeastern, southwestern Utah, northwestern Arizona, the Four Corner area, untouched on some of these highways. And then obviously coming on Route 50 all the way through eastern Nevada into Reno, I wondered, like, man, how did these guys know where the best route was? Because you're up and down through the terrain.
What was the highest elevations you were going through, and how many times?
Well, the highest elevation was Wolf Creek Pass in between Pagosa and South Fork, Colorado. I did a little out and back, 40 miles, across the pass and to South Fork and then back to Pagosa. And that was 10,830 feet.
That's awesome.
It was a little chilly.
That's awesome. You
I-
put your chaps on?
I did.
Did you have your hiney hanging out? No, not
No.
this time.
No, never. At rallies, they do that.
Yeah, really.
But no, that was a spectacular summit through there. But it was interesting, which I had no idea. All the times I've flown into Reno, you look down and you see these mountains and you see snow cap, and it's like, wow, where the heck is that? And this time I drove it. So from coming off of Highway 21, I believe it was, in western Utah, coming into Baker, Nevada on Highway 50, I bet I crossed, 3 valleys that were probably 20 miles to 40 miles wide and, 4 summits or passes, the least of them being 5,000 feet. And looking up to my shoulder and just seeing snow-capped, mountains. And I literally was I bet you I didn't see more than literally 15 vehicles in 200 miles.
It's beautiful.
It was amazing. Just amazing.
The people you met.
Oh, the people. I mean, so,
What has adventure taught you about meeting just unique people and
well,
the conversations and the feelings you have?
well, first of all, there had to be a medium, and the medium was my Harley Davidson motorcycle. Everybody likes to, come in because it's a good-looking bike.
Welcome to the family.
Yeah, it's a good-looking bike, and people see me on it, and I'm all geared up, ready to take off, or if I'm in a gas station filling up, they want to come and say, "Hey, what a great-looking bike! Let me tell you about my motorcycle." Sometime in their life, they had a motorcycle, and they all have an experience from it, and they look at me and my motorcycle with like, "Wow, you're doing it. You're really doing it." And I'm thinking, yes, I am, and I'm so grateful that I did it because, quite honestly, it was a split decision, pretty quick decision to make. I knew I wanted to bring my motorcycle here to Reno simply because I've ridden in Texas. I bought this motorcycle in 2005. And so I've ridden for all these years there. And it's like, now I want to see the Northwest. So now that you and Seth are out here, I'm going to come out and bring my bike. And I thought about even trailering it. But then I thought, nah, I am going to just jump on this thing and go. And I wasn't planning on leaving until around the 5th or 7th of June. But
Divine time.
You know, my timeline got jump started, and it was time to go, and so boom,
Welcome.
Memorial Day, I am on the road.
Welcome to Reno, Uncle Tommy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Oh yeah.
Hot tubbing, just having epic meals together, stretching out, sunbathing, getting our heinies tanned by the sand or the sun.
Uh-huh.
And I think you guys we may be going boating tomorrow, huh?
We're going boating tomorrow. We're going to go boat Lake Tahoe. And yesterday, Seth and I did a great motorcycle ride, 175 miles all around the lake.
Awesome.
And we took little out and backs, one up Squaw Valley, the other one up through North Star. And, just beautiful country. And look, I was happy for everything I had on because it got a little chilly.
Nice, nice.
And, the nice thing about getting a little older is you like warm weather a little bit more.
Yeah. Welcome to the
So,
summers of Reno Tahoe.
yeah, yeah, and I'm a skier too, snow
Yeah.
skier. So,
How much of time have you spent skiing here?
well, I've been here at least one ski trip for the last 5 years.
So
And,
every year, one ski trip at least
but
for a
prior
good week.
prior to that, I had a guy that worked for me years ago, and his sister lived here in Reno, and we would come up here in the early 2000s and go skiing to Lake Tahoe. And so I did that probably 4 times.
Cool.
So that was, quite some time ago, but you can never get past the beauty of being on a mountain snow skiing. I mean, there's just something about it. It's just so life affirming.
We had a session. We had a Bluebird Day.
Oh, we did.
We had a Bluebird Day.
Yes,
We
we did.
shared you and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. You were on your snowboard just tearing it up, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And it was just,
We all
great.
wear helmets.
Of course.
Very, very respectful of nature and its wooing power of strength.
I've got a gouge in my helmet, and it wasn't from a fall. It was from literally standing. After you're done skiing and you take your skis off and you're walking back to your vehicle.
Yeah.
Some guy just turned around and nailed me carrying his skis, and put a gouge. He would have split my head wide open
Wow.
if I didn't have a helmet on.
Wow. Thank you, helmet.
So
Your son made me promise to wear a helmet every time I get my bicycle years ago. He was
Good.
really angry at me one day and he said, "Promise me you'll wear a helmet every time you get on the bicycle
good.
on 2 wheels." And I said, "I will."
Safety
So
first,
yeah,
always.
and I have.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
a good
the
thing.
theme. Safety
Mhm.
first, fun second.
Exactly.
That
Fun-
way you're always having fun. Or you have the option of having fun.
You have the option.
Yeah.
It's always a choice.
Yeah.
Everything in life is a choice.
Yes. Great
know,
segue.
And that's why it's all good, regardless of what happens.
You've
And
been
just-
telling me that for at least 20 years. And I
Yeah.
didn't get it at first. I didn't get it. However,
There's Uncle Tom and that hyper faith stuff, right?
yes. I couldn't understand how it all can be good.
Well, we're constantly reminded. So, as an example, when I was driving my first day on this road trip, I left Austin, Texas, and I made it all the way to Roswell, which I've now renamed Roshell. But Roswell, New Mexico, is so once I got a little bit west of Abilene, the country was beautiful between Austin, Brownwood, all these great areas, and then I hit the Panhandle, and it was really hot. It was over 100 degrees, and I stopped in this little town called Post because I was just starving, ready to start chewing on my arm. But I knew I wanted to get as far west as I could, hopefully beat the heat, and stopped at this little restaurant. It really wasn't that good of food, but I stopped there and I'm having a little dinner and start chit-chatting with this guy next to me. I've got my my motorcycle stuff on. He sees I'm traveling. He starts a conversation. Turns out that he was a guy who was well traveled, spent 10 years in Saudi Arabia. I think he was like a contractor of some kind. Could have been a CIA contractor, could have been a construction contractor. I didn't ask. And then
Don't
he
ask,
told,
don't tell.
and then he spent 10 years in Thailand, and we had this great conversation. And he'd married a Thai woman, and his wife and children were over visiting her family. So he was just sitting in the restaurant chit-chatting from another booth. So I go to leave, and I didn't realize this restaurant was cash only. So I said, okay, I need to go out to my motorcycle and dig my wallet out, because I have my credit card with me. And or you have an ATM machine right there, so I go to get it. And by the time I get done fumbling around with the ATM, waitress goes, "It's taken care of. It's taken care of." He paid for it. And it was like, wow,
Thank you so much.
what a nice fella to do that.
Thank you so
And this
much.
was in Post, Texas. Well, anyway, we were talking about the contrast of it's all good.
Yes.
So it's like that had to be the most challenging road of my entire trip from Post, Texas to Roswell, New Mexico, because it's 2 lane and literally it's so flat you can see the curvature of the earth. And it's farmland. That's where they grow a lot of the grapes for all the wine areas in central Texas, in the hill country, Fredericksburg particularly,
Right.
which has become quite a wine area. They have probably over 200 wineries there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. Beautiful
We'll never
place.
go without wine.
We'll never
Jesus
go without
definitely
wine.
turned the water into wine.
Or we'll not go without grapes because the panhandle's loaded with it. But
Wow.
as I'm driving through there, it's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's about 103 degrees, and the wind is blowing, and the visibility was probably, limited because of all the dust just blowing.
Oh.
So I had my little face mask up, and I've got my chin almost on my gas tank because it's a 2 lane road, and I find myself going about 85, just to get the hell out of there. And these truckers are coming the other way, and literally they would blow my feet right off of my foot stands. It was just like so, and it's like, wow. But I said, it's all good
Yes.
because it's getting me to my next destination. So when I got to Roswell, it
We
was
just
like
appreciate it that much
really
more.
hot, but found a great hotel room and chilled. Then the next day, on to Chama, New Mexico.
Welcome to Roswell. On to
Chama,
Chama.
New Mexico, which is a great little area. Went through Santa Fe first and just had to have some good Mexican food there, which was awesome. And Santa Fe is a very interesting place. A lot of retirees there now. A little bit crowded, I thought, and then on to Chama, where I spent the night at the Elkhorn Lodge, right on the Chama River. And this place was probably built in the 1930s. It was a wood structure, cabin types, and it was great, just fantastic. And got a great night's sleep, got up about 7, loaded my bike up and drove into the little town and had a great breakfast. Then, boom, onward to Pagosa, which was an awesome drive to Pagosa, Colorado, Pagosa Springs, and then Durango, then Cortez for the overnight. And while there, I met a guy who was in the room next to me, sitting in his, it was a little Motel 6 kind of place, built in the 30s, I think, And he was actually from the Bay Area, traveling on an off-road high-end bike, and drove the whole distance without being on asphalt. Did dirt roads all the way from San Francisco to Cortez, Colorado. Incredible.
That is incredible. That is incredible.
In the 60s,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I figure when I'm walking those, I just could imagine how it used to be. I feel like a lot of us have had that thought or that experience walking with sandals or something through all the rocks and desert and the high heat. It's very humbling. And
I bet you if we knew a little bit more about the type of apparel that people wore that lived in those areas back then, we'd find out that they were a little more advanced than we thought. They just didn't walk barefoot. They probably knew how to wear the right type of bindings on their feet and protect their feet and protect themselves from the blistering heat, and they knew how to do it.
Agreed. I agree with you. I
Yeah.
just opened up my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Isn't that
appreciate
cool?
that. Yeah.
I mean, they had quality of life, and if they wanted to get from point A to point B, it was a journey, and you had to strike out just like the pioneers or those moving west back in 150 years ago. They withstood all kinds of calamities, weather, hostile people, animals, scorpions, the whole deal.
Rattlesnakes. I was out in a jog yesterday morning at before 6 a.m. There, as the sun was coming up, he was heating up, and there was a rattler on the trail.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just on the side, and we could.
Well,
So
they're warning you, stay away from me.
Just be aware.
I don't dig you. I don't understand who it is.
I am receiving question. I'm flashing to 2 days ago in the backyard of the Terracina Temple, and you're just admiring the birds. And this is in South Reno, Demonte Ranch
Uh-huh.
area. How does it feel to be just R&R at the Terracina Temple at your son's home?
Oh, well,
How does it feel to be here?
relaxed. It's great, because I know back in Austin it's like 102 degrees with humidity. That's pretty hot, you know. But fortunately, I'm able to, have a place to go, and this was a great place. But what probably took me so well is the privacy, the comfort, and the birds. I mean, because he's a couple blocks away from the wetlands area, where there's a lot of nesting, a lot of habitation of wildlife, and there's like millions of birds just flying around, all different types: doves, sparrow, hawks, um,
Herons,
herons, duck,
pelican.
pelicans. We saw the pelicans
Yes.
the other day. We rode bicycles around the wet area, and it's great. I mean, I can just feel it, hear it, see it, smell it, and the air is so cool. And then visually, I'm just looking right at Slide Mountain from the backyard,
With snow
which is
on
pretty
it
darn nice with snow on it,
in June.
in June, and it's
People are
clear.
still people are still skiing that right now. By the way, backcountry skiing. Some of my friends.
Really.
Yeah,
Well, I don't doubt it. I mean,
they're still enjoying.
well, look, when we took the motorcycle ride yesterday up around the lake, there's a lot of snow up there
It's
still.
beautiful.
And what Seth was telling me is that the water level of Lake Tahoe is way up, so the Truckee ought to be flowing well all summer. How
Abundance.
nice is that?
Abundance,
Yeah,
absolutely. I see people playing it every day.
yeah.
It's been such a blessing. The role I get the opportunity of. I ride my bicycle everywhere right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I imagine I'm in my Toyota Tacoma or my Ferrari still, just smiling. But I get to ride my bicycle everywhere, and it's such an intimate process with Reno, and I'm
Oh,
falling more and more in love with it.
Reno is a well kept secret. I don't know if it's a secret that, you know, developers probably want people to come, but being in the building business, I've in Austin, the last 15 years has just 20 years have just changed that town from a quaint, artistic, you know, funky, keep Austin weird kind of place to a hustling, bustling place, but still maintains its artistry, and it's got beautiful buildings, beautiful homes. Uh, Being in the custom home business, I think they're the most beautiful homes on the planet.
Cool,
I
cool.
mean, I think they outpace anything anywhere
Love
else.
that.
Oh yeah, I think Central Texas just really, uh,
Surprising.
yeah. Oh,
For
it
those
is.
who don't know Texas,
For those who
it
don't know,
surprised me.
oh
When I
yeah,
visited, I spent about 6 months with you,
mm-hmm.
off and on, three
Right,
months at a time. I did 3 months, and then I did 1 month, 1 month, 1 month.
yeah,
But
yep.
it really was
Those are
pleasantly
some great
surprising.
times.
Yeah, and that's where I started my journey. You helped me remember. You're helping me remember. Follow my joy, follow my excitement. What is it that I desire to do? How does my life look? Not how do I think I need. Everyone else thinks I need to do it. What is it that and to get quiet and to ask the questions to our higher self, to our divine self, to whatever you want to call it or label it, to seek the silence, ask the questions, and then follow our joy from one moment to the next in respect to all things. And
And I think that's the struggle. I think that we all have to struggle with expectation that we sometimes place on ourselves, but has been framed by others. Uh, and so we put this burden of expectation on ourselves, and which is different than setting a goal. If you set a goal, it's something that you want. An expectation could be something that you just put it on like a coat that someone else thinks that you should have, and and then people end up spending an entire career trying to fulfill an expectation that someone else has created for them, and they completely deny themselves, which is the entire uh, way that we give respect to our creator, by being individuals, by being whatever it is we want to be, and and the only way that that's measured is by our joy. You can have people you and I both know people that, you know, have become very financially successful and they've built empires but yet there's just something always missing. And it could be because, geez, I really never really wanted to do that. I wanted to, you know, be a painter or, you know, something, or an airline pilot, you know, and when people fulfill what they truly want to do for themselves, it's joy every day of the life, and it's all good. And again, going back to the all good phrase,
which is beautiful.
you know, you could be having a shit sandwich of a day, but you got to, and if you say to yourself, regardless, it's all good.
Yes.
Because, hey, it's going to bring me to something tomorrow or soon that if I didn't chew on this shit sandwich, I might not appreciate it and understand it and recognize the connection.
The contrast births
clarity of your own goal and your joys, and so, you know, and it also teaches us the fact that we are the only ones responsible for our life. Boom. You know, when a person understands that, you know, and they stop blaming others and they stop becoming a victim, they realize that, okay, I've run out of excuses. Now I guess it is about me. And the reason why that takes so long is because you never truly believe you have the tools to accomplish a successful life. You have to be like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I do. It resonates truth with me.
Yeah.
This morning I said, I claim 100% responsibility. I have to remind myself.
You do.
As soon as I do victimization mode or fear-based mode, I go, I claim 100% responsibility for this day. I invite health, wealth, happiness into my life today, harmonious relationships, on and on and on.
Exactly.
Playtime, rest,
exactly.
balance.
That's right. And when you do, you know, you just feel like uplifted. You sense that, you know what? I mean, I don't need to compare myself amongst anybody else. I am who I am. That's all that I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, right?
Yes.
and
yes.
and it's like, it's okay. I'm happy to be that. That's where I'm going. And boy, that sometimes takes a lifetime to figure out.
It takes a lot of courage too,
and it takes courage.
I have to do my
to be
push-ups.
responsible.
I have to do my push-ups.
Yeah. I mean, to be responsible for yourself is the beginning step for a total successful life and fulfillment.
Wishes fulfilled.
Yes, indeed.
Mr. Dyer, we appreciate you. It's Chase channeling.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of channelers in the family.
Oh, I love Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer.
He was one of my first, you know, I didn't start figuring it out till I was 50 years old. Well, I can't say that. My whole life has been a spiritual journey.
Yes.
Ever since I can remember I think my first recollection was probably 4 years old, 3 or 4 years old when my grandmother lived with us. When I was literally 4 years old, we moved to the hardware store above the hardware store that my dad owned, and she was a staunch Catholic woman, and I was kind of like her favorite grandson. There's only two of us. My brother Mark was a little pretentious.
He was 3 or 4 years older than you, or something.
1 year.
1 year, okay.
But bigger than me, and probably watched too many Popeye Brutus cartoons, you know, in the beginning. So my grandmother would always just take me with her wherever she went, and I remember her taking me to what they call a novena, which is a Catholic ritual where you go sit in a church all day and pray. And it's like, oh my God, you know, she gets me on a bus. We take the bus down Court Street. We went to a monastery, actually. And it's like, I'm sitting there and it's like, she's just, you know, bleeding her heart out, you know, and I'm thinking,
all day long.
Wow. And so all day long, this was it was like a time deal. And it's like, wow. So that was an emotional, I mean, I saw something, I didn't understand it, but it's like, wow. And so the whole Catholic tradition was instilled in me. all the way through high school. I went through Catholic school from kindergarten to 12th grade.
Amazing.
And,
Amazing.
oh yeah, and I have to say it was all great.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
now they would probably, want to burn me at the stake after they've excommunicated me, with the knowledge that I have. But, hey, that's my knowledge. It belongs to me. I'm not telling anyone they have to change their tradition or walk out or do it. It's like, hey, you roll where you are, and if you're happy about that, then boom.
I
Or is
think
it someone
nowadays,
else's expectation?
true. I think nowadays, though, if you were to talk with the Pope,
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd love it. I think he'd be in. I think he understands it. I think he's my
I
feeling
have to
of
get
him.
through security first.
My feeling. I think we'd invite him on the show.
Yeah.
I would love it. Thank you, Pope.
Hey, Frankie.
Yeah, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when my uncle Tommy came in, I felt like Bill Murray. I was being visited by Bill Murray. It was just presence. It was so beautiful. I was so excited.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, no comparison, of course. You're in real life. Bill Murray's just been there the whole time through the movies, just
That's how we know him
being my
anyway.
guru. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of like Jim Carrey. He's probably got a great story,
Yes.
and we don't know it. I don't know it,
Yes.
but I just heard Jim Carrey's story the other day, and I think that guy just has tremendous courage.
Yes.
And he's allowing himself to be who he is,
Yes.
just like you, to be free to be. Do they know your name, Free to Be? So, Chad William Michael, my nephew, I've always enjoyed him, by the way, all the times that we got to spend together. Because he was quite a youngster when I actually left Syracuse. Well, you weren't even born then. What am I talking about? I left there in 1971. But yeah, as Chad William developed, I thought, man, and as I developed, it was kind of like a Native American tradition where their names represented who they were and what they did, maybe some outstanding feat or an accomplishment, and so the names were given to them to represent. They were a very honorable thing, and so I gave Chad William Michael a name,
The
starter name, which was To, capital T-O, capital B-E, To Be. And, because it was like he was on his way to being who he is. So to be. So it's kind of like, Eric Tolley. I remember reading one of his books, and he would always say, there was a priest, a Himalayan priest or Buddhist priest, and they were with his student, and as they're walking through the outdoors someplace, the student said, "How do you know when you're spiritual?" And in Eric Tolley's famous voice, the priest goes, "Can you hear the mountain stream?" It was so profound that it made the student realize that wow, if I can hear the mountain stream, I can become enlightened. And so that name, to be whatever, appropriately applied to you. And then recently, last year, just like the Native Americans, they keep adding another adjective to the name, and now his surname is Free to Be, or it can be To Be Free. Either way, it's a statement of intention, and it fits William here very well. And then we go into the comic role of now he's William. William, would you get me some more coffee, William?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
William, how about some more of that delicious French toast that you make?
Yes,
William?
sir. Yes, sir. Right away,
William.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for all of it. I thank you for all of it. It's sometimes it's challenging to be present. I'm excited right now, but all the experiences flood in when we talk. So it's that balance of conversation, being present, and then having the film of our experiences going on in my head and trying to relay them, but also
Sure.
just really enjoying what's going on here.
Yeah.
Uh, Being in the radio booth with you, I appreciate you sharing that, and it just elates me. And just when Uncle Ben's coming to town, when Uncle Tom's coming to town, I get really excited because no matter when we're playing, me and your son, we're like, man, Uncle Ben would love this. He'd love this, and he needs to get out here. So we'll FaceTime you or call you up or text you, and
Oh yeah. Then the sales pitch starts.
yeah,
You
then when
know,
you
then the
show
sales
up,
pitch. Hey, don't you hate that humidity? You know, it's like, man, how can you stand all that traffic in Austin? You know, and it's like, hey,
and we
I,
mock him and scorn him until he shows up to Reno,
oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
he's in heaven.
Well, I'm always in heaven.
I know. We're trying to sell you again.
They're trying to sell me.
Oh, was a salesman always a
Yeah,
salesman?
yeah. But when the right time is, it'll be.
Yes,
So the big step is I've got my motorcycle here now.
yes.
And guess
Begun.
what? I'm not riding it back. No way, Jose.
It's here.
I mean, the timing was so good. Again, I keep going back to this journey because it was so epic for me. But I was kind of like right ahead of the major heat wave. You know, I left Texas in the heat wave, but it was even going to get hotter. And as I got out further west, you know, I had some. It was just cool, comfortable temperatures, and I beat the heat. If I waited another week, I would have been riding through the furnaces all the way out here. And
Surrendering the divine
yeah,
time.
and I did Highway 50, by the way, the loneliest highway. I did it, and
Was it
I
enlightening?
got the passport. You know,
Yes.
I told you about that little story. They're doing a promotional on Highway 50, and I didn't know it until I got to Ely, and where a fellow motorcycle rider and his wife were having dinner where I was, and they go, "Hey, do you have the passport?" It's like, what? And they told me about what that was and how you get a stamp at, you know, Baker and Ely, Eureka, Austin. I'm leaving Fallon and Carson City. So I got 5 of the 7, but I traveled through all 7 communities, and you get a little neckerchief, you know, with Highway 50 on it, yada yada yada. Yes. So it was pretty cool. That was my banner. But
And we have plans with all three of us amigos. We'll be iron horsing it to those
yes,
locations to get those flags.
well, I got them. I
Yeah,
mean, they
all
need
of
to
them.
send. Well,
See,
I'm not
we're
driving.
returning to get all of
I'm
them.
not going back to Ely. I'm not, and I'm definitely not going back to Baker.
Just breathe
Sorry
through it.
for all you
It's
people that live in
PST,
Baker
post
and want to lynch
traumatic.
me because I'm driving through. All 6 of you that live there.
Bless
So,
them.
yeah, that's
Well,
right.
again, we do little segues in between,
Yeah,
little recesses here, and just gratitude. I
yeah.
always return to gratitude for our viewers
Mm-hmm.
via Instagram, and then the ones that will be viewing through YouTube, and for the KWNK Reno Community Station, who has about 400 members now, and
Great.
a lot of sponsorship. Now we're online streaming. That's a newer
Terrific.
feature.
Yeah.
Sir Thomas and an excellent crew that we have here. They really run the show, advertising and
Mm-hmm.
marketing and scheduling and the whole shebang. And I just show up and I play.
Wonderful.
So grateful, and I love to donate here too. As I'm going through, I'm thinking, just send a Venmo has been a great portal for me because I'm into I'm into a lot of Reno's community, the community of Reno, and there's a lot of people who serve me and teach me their art and crafts, and
Mm-hmm.
it's nice through I've been using Venmo to send out some money to friends and family, and it's public viewing how much is being sent and for what for. So it's sponsoring and supporting openness of money givings and what it's supporting. I think money is an awesome tool. I love wealth. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love prosperity. I'm inviting it into my life every day. Thank you. I will return to Denzel Washington. Says he hides his slippers underneath his bed every night. So when he gets up in the morning, he has to drop to his knees and he goes,
Ha!
and he goes, say thank you for the things that are on the way. Say thank you for the things that are to be had. Not necessarily as the reality as it is, but be thankful for grace and mercy. Be thankful for wealth. Be thankful for health. be thankful for harmonious relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's at all of them are
That's
advocates
great.
of faith.
Yeah.
Is that is faith to me? Believing in the things yet to be manifested,
Right.
as if they're already done.
The evidence of things not seen. The evidence of things not seen. The substance of things hoped for.
Beautiful. I
Yeah.
agree.
That's faith. And faith is across the board in any belief system. Any belief system, it is intricate to have faith. And faith is the key. It's an old Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee song. Faith is the key. You know, uh, just that train a coming, and by having faith that you know it's all going to be there, it's all going to arrive, is the fuel for life.
Yes.
It's the fuel that keeps you going.
Yes.
If you run out of gas, you're done. You might be driving a Lamborghini or a 57 Chevy pickup truck. You run out of gas, you're done. Doesn't matter what you're driving because now you're walking. And
not taking any of it with you.
Faith is the fuel that keeps you going.
Love it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And also, just because we acquire goals doesn't mean we're done being grateful. Doesn't mean we're done just being grateful for the continuation.
We're never done. There's always more. And when you realize that there's always more, and again, that goes back to the earlier discussion about setting goals versus expectations. Expectations are limited. Goals are just, if my goal is to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, okay, then that's like to the day I take my last breath on this planet.
Yes.
No
and
end in
as
sight.
one of our mentors says, we'll never get it all done.
You'll never get it all done. Exactly, which is good.
Yes.
Come back again. We'll be back again.
Yeah.
Might not look the same, but I'll be back.
Beautiful. I well said. That was great.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, this is a great radio station. I mean, what a great concept, where you can freewheel it, and kind of go where your your heart and mind. Hey, that's a combo word. Marked. Mind and heart and mind, right?
Yes.
I just invented that, folks. So, no, but this station gives you an opportunity to just really speak your heart and,
Yes.
Exhaust your mind a little bit and try to say something that might inspire someone
Yes.
who's listening,
Yes.
be an encouragement to them.
Yes.
It's like I've always wanted to say. I knew a gal who was very involved in prison ministry years ago, and we talked about it, and she said, "Well, you really you ought to come sometime," And it's like, man, it'd be kind of a depressing scenario, but the thing that I would want to say is that I can set you free. How would you like to be free? Oh, you're still going to be in this place because you've got to pay your civil, dues, but you can still be free.
Yes.
You can still be free if you understand who you are, and that was just a stumbling block that you violated a civic, crime, and you're in here doing time, but it doesn't mean that you're not free. You can always be free. Always be free if you just allow yourself to be and know that it's all going to change and life is going to be good.
I thought about that as well before I went to deep sleep last night. I said it was all a state of just another layer of enlightenment for me, as it's these things that we've always heard and talked about, but the freedom is in the mind, because I was thinking about different colors, belief systems, segregations, and judgments and stuff like that with different people all over the globe, and it's a state of mind. It doesn't matter what size, shape, or color you are, or where you're from.
Exactly.
I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing here as if I would do it in any other country. I'm minding myself, enjoying myself. How may I serve has been a new layer of enlightenment for me. It's not what can I get now, because I've said more prayers than St. Daniel himself. It's all in the vortex. Now all I gotta do is follow my joy and serve. How may I serve the people? How may I serve my uncle? When Uncle Tom asked, of course, I love to serve, because the heart of the giver is bigger than the heart of the receiver. Of course, that's healthy selfishness.
Yeah. Well, what you realize is that that opens the flow, the floodgates. It's kind of like, what impedes the flow is when you're trying to get all you can all you get. But if you decide to serve after, as you said, you've made all your requests and your petitions known unto God, the universe. So now it's like, okay, done.
Yes.
Boom. Now, hey, what can I do for you? How can I be of service to you? How can I? And that just, bam, opens the floodgates. And, it doesn't matter what race, creed, color, social background, socioeconomic background you come from, you know, you can always open the floodgates even more by being who you are, accepting personal responsibility, choosing to be a blessing rather than a curse, you know, choosing to be kind rather than mean, choosing to wear a smile rather than a frown. Uh, it's all about choice. And then, if you live long enough and you just are a seeker, because that's the whole thing. I
Mm.
believe we're all born to be seekers of truth, meaning your truth. Okay, whatever it might be. It might plateau at a certain point, and if you're happy there, stay. Camp out for 20 years, 30 years.
Yes.
If not, pack your tent up and keep seeking.
Yes.
If you seek, you will find. Always. Always, you will. So, what's our timeline here?
We're doing good. I just needed to check in here. We got about 5, 6 minutes.
Okay,
And so I would love you to finish up your story. And then, of course, I have to do a little advertisement
of course.
for not only myself, but I'm a sponsored advertiser
Got it.
for other things.
Well, listen, my story never ends. So it's just when to stop talking about it. I want to
Feel
say
it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here. And it thrills my heart to be here with you and to see you beaming with light the way that you are to be. And I think you're very inspirational. And I'm so happy that at your young time in life, at your young age, that you recognize what you do. And you'll never go wrong. It'll always be, you'll have a fulfilling, terrific life.
Thank you.
And as your uncle, I'm thrilled. I can report back to your mom and dad.
Yes. It's good.
Hey,
Yeah.
he still didn't get his tooth fixed.
Yeah.
But but regardless of what you think, and that he wears a man bun. Okay, I get it. He's a-okay, just fine. He's doing great. So
Thank you, Uncle Tom.
you're welcome.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's been a great time visiting with you.
Likewise, your presence.
And it's been a pleasure to talk to your audience.
Yes.
I hope to be back and do it again sometime.
I would love to have you.
And I love this community. It's great.
Cool. Welcome to Reno.
Thanks.
Reno's happy to have you. And
Thank
you'll
you.
be around for at least a few more days, so we'll be showing you around.
Saturday, leaving Saturday.
We'll be showing you around a little bit more, so I really appreciate it. And
Boom.
as you acclimate into Reno a little bit more here and there, it's an honor to have you. I'd love to bring you into more and more of the circle, but just a nice warm introduction for Uncle Tom here when you see him. My Seth was in the hot tub the other day looking at us hanging out, sipping on a mid-morning drink next to the fire pit, and he looks over and he goes, two celebrities in my backyard. We had our hat on, glasses, and we're just really relaxing on a terrible Tuesday,
Terrible Tuesday.
Yeah. And then it's Wacky Wednesday. So, yes, thank you so much, audience members. We really appreciate your support and sponsorship. Above all, what is the theme of the Hour of Power? It is to remind each and every one of us, not only myself, but all of you, that you are the most important thing. Your breath, your awareness of yourself, your co-creating of your own lifestyle, the story that you want to tell yourself and your family. Be not deceived by the appearances sometimes around you. Be grateful even in the contrast, even in the discomforts of the disease and disharmony, and really focus on harmony. What does it feel like to be healthy, wealthy, and happy? What does it feel like to have harmonious partnerships? What does it feel like to have harmonious family relationships and to live a filled, as Wayne Dyer said, a wish fulfilled life? And we're Joygans. We follow our joy. It's a really beautiful. We're recovering upstate New York sarcasm. We bring the pagan into Joyganism and just follow our joy and treat others as we want to be treated. The golden rule, and doesn't matter by what name or creed or whatever you pray to. Respect all beings. Respect all beings. Respect yourself. As much as I can love myself, I can love my neighbor. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, but I have to love myself first. And so I can love my neighbor, give him a hug. So, quick segue here. I have to advertise.
Oh,
The funny thing happened on the way to the forum at the Reno Little Theater, July 6th to the 29th. I believe it's about 20 shows. We're in about 7 weeks of rehearsal now. It's a lot of fun. I hope you can return to Reno for at least one of the shows.
yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to.
It's a great show. It's
Yeah.
PG-13. It's a little naughty, but it's beautiful. Because, last year I did Peter and the Starcatcher. I came off a 30-day silent retreat, so I'm zenned out. I'm sipping on water, holy water. And this is a new episode. It's a little bit more sarcastic. It's more fun. It's satire. It's comedy. It's sexy. It's flirtatious. So I get to do some tumbling, and I'm learning how to sing. I'm learning how to dance, and I'm
Wow.
surrounded by, I feel, really good actors. Everyone
Sure.
has their professionals in their own thing, and they
Right.
come to the theater a little tired. But we warm up. We do vocal warm-ups, physical warm-ups, and we're in it for 3-4 hours, and we're 3-4 days in a row, and then we have a couple days of rest, and it's game time. We're
Sweet.
3 or 4 weeks out from showtime, July
It's got to be
6th.
fun to look forward to.
It's
that,
epic. I'm really excited, so I just want to share that, everyone. If you can hand me that one too. This is another special. This is Samantha Faye, her Become event coming up here in a week or so, June 14th through the 16th at the Atlantis. Become with Samantha Faye. She is a good friend of mine. She's a psychic medium. That's her profession. She's very intuitive, very empathic. I feel like I can go into a lot of that, but on the softer side of life, she's very intuitive. She's very it's her Justice League powers is just to be very intuitive with people, help them work through different situations. Contrast. She helps. She's a guide.
Oh,
She helps people work through contrast to get to the positive aspects in all categories of life. I love what she's done. I've gone to the last couple of events, like I said. I usually sit in the corner and I stretch and I just hold space. It's a lot of ladies in there, and I do my work. I know,
darn.
yeah, a rough fight.
I bet he hates that.
So I'm really proud of Samantha Faye. So please get a hold of her. You can find Samantha Faye on Facebook. Also, her lovely sister Audrey is her go-to as well, and they'll both be there. And I'm really proud of her. So thank you, Samantha, for sponsoring and investing in my lifestyle and being my friend. And thanks for being a part of Reno. And again, thank you, KWNK Reno, 97.7 FM for this beautiful sponsored space station. We get to record episode 23 of the Hour Power In. Uncle Tom from San Antonio, originally from upstate New York in the Milky Way galaxy.
And now Austin.
Now Austin. And his presence is appreciated, and his chariot awaits him. He got dropped off red carpet, of course, and so shall he be picked up in the red carpet.
Bam.
Love you all. Peace be with you. Focus on your intentions. And any other further thoughts from God Senior?
Well, I just say live your highest calling, enjoy life, realize that it's all good no matter what the circumstance is. It's all good always. And if it's not, just look at yourself first before you blame someone else or become a victim, and realize that your purpose is to create joy in your life and be the best person that you can be always.
Fantastic. Uncle Ben and Chad, what's your middle name?
Albert.
Thomas, Albert, Lauren, and Chad, William, Michael, here and now, signing out, and hope to see you all again, but we see you now.
Exactly.
Ciao, bunga.
Ciao, bunga.